For this video in the last section, I'm just kind of walk through thoughts out loud to solve some of the problems on the worksheet. The top half of that notes sheet should hopefully give you an idea of how we can classify the conic sections. But I just want to do maybe the first 2 rows of examples for you to follow along with in case you're not catching on. Just to hear kind of out loud the thought process as we decide what each of the equations represents. So here's the worksheet that you have, and I'm going to jump around. We'll just go across each row, kind of talking through why each one of them might be which conic section. So first one, what we're really looking to pay attention to is x squared terms and y squared terms. So it has x squared and y squared, so that eliminates the possibility of it being a parabola, because that only has one of them squared. So this has both of them squared, and then what sticks out is the minus. We have an x squared, a positive x squared, minus a y squared. The only one that had the squared subtracted is a hyperbola. So this first one is a hyperbola. Over to the next one. Again, we first pay attention to the squared terms. They both have squared terms, so that eliminates the possibility of being a parabola. Both of them are positive. They're both added, so that eliminates hyperbola, so it's either a circle or ellipse. So then we pay attention to the coefficients in front. We have 2 different coefficients, so that's going to be stretching things different. So this is a ellipse. If both of those coefficients were the same, right, if we had 4x squared plus 4y squared, that would be a circle. But since we have both of them added and we have different coefficients, it ends up being an ellipse. So over to the third one. Hey, look at that. What we were just talking about. We have x squared and y squared. They're both positive. They have the same coefficient. They both have a 4 in front. So it's going to be stretched equally, so this one gives us a circle. We'll look at the second row next, and then I'll leave that third row to be entirely up to you. So looking at this one, we see 3x squared. There's no y squared. So this one, right away, we can tell is a parabola, because a parabola was the only equation where one of the variables was squared. Everything else has x squared and y squared. So that one's a parabola. On to the next one. We're looking for the squared terms. We do have x squared and y squared. Positive with the x squared, negative with this one. So we have subtraction between the squared terms. The only one where we subtract those is a hyperbola. Again, if that was a plus y squared, it would either be a circle or an ellipse. And on to this next one, we see y squared, but we don't have an x squared anymore. So again, this one would be a parabola, because we only see one of the 2 of them being squared. So hopefully that helps you catch on to some of those thought processes about how to sort these out. I don't think this part's too difficult, but this is an important skill to have going forward, so that you can look at an equation and real quickly have an idea of what kind of shape that graph might have, so that you have some idea of where to start with things.